You're watching Rurouni K95's anime review on Berserk Golden Age Arc movie, which is Egg of the King, which is the first Berserk Golden Age Arc movie. Hi, Rurounies. This is your pal Rurouni K95 here, and today, for another anime review, we get to cover another Berserk anime movie because I will be planning on reviewing the Berserk series, which that'll be spoiler for later on in the later Berserk 90s anime series, but that's not in the case. But today's anime review, we're going to be reviewing Berserk Golden Age Arc movie, which is The Egg of the King. It's based on the manga from the manga artist Kentaro Miura. Berserk is Golden Age Arc 1, which Egg of the King is the first Berserk movie directed by Toshiyuki Kubouka, and it's written by Ichiro Okuchi. Yeah, it's released on February 4th, 2012. Berserk Golden Age Arc movie, Egg of the King is the first Berserk movie because they replaced newer Japanese voice actors for every characters from the Berserk animes movie, like Golden Age Arc, replacing the original Japanese voice actors from the original Berserk anime series from 1997. But if I get to cover the 97 Berserk anime series, but that's maybe for some other time because I'm really focusing on doing an anime review on Berserk Golden Age Arc Egg of the King, the first Berserk Golden Age Arc movie. Well, without any further ado, let's review. Berserk Golden Age Arc 1, The Egg of the King, was released on February 4th, 2012 in Japan. Let's review this. Guts, a mercenary, attracts the attention of the band of the Hawk and is forced into joining the group after being defeated by its leader, Griffith, twice. Once the Hawk defeated the kingdom of Tudor's Black Ram Iron Lance Cavalry, they are recruited by Midland for its war against its rival kingdom, the Tudor Empire. During one siege, Guts and Griffith encounter the demon Nosferatu Zod, who notices the behelit around Griffith's neck and warns Guts that Griffith will be his doom in time. Griffith's gradual rise in status is ill-received by the nobleman, and a failed assassination attempt by the king's brother Julius results in his murder by Guts, who was also forced to kill by the noble's son, Adonis, to leave no witnesses. Guts, emotionally scarred by what he has done, would later hear Griffith discussing his idea of friendship with the Midland princess Charlotte, and is further unsettled to he and the other Hawks are a means to their leader's end. Yeah, so that's probably... So for the Japanese cast for the Berserk Golden Age Arc movie ones, but the last two Berserk Golden Age Arc movies, but that's only for future anime reviews, which are later on in the later anime reviews. But for the Japanese voice cast features Hiroaki Iwagawa as Guts, replacing Nobutoshi Kana from the original Berserk 1997 anime, Takahiro Sakurai as Griffith, replacing Toshiyuki Morikawa, and Toa Yukinari as Kasuka, replacing Yuko Miyamura. And the English cast features Mark Dyrison as Guts, Kevin T. Collins as Griffith, and Carrie Karanen as Casca, all reprising their roles from the original anime. Yeah, because the project was first announced as a new anime project in September 2010 on a wrap-around jacket and on Volume 35 of the Berserk manga. Yeah, because Viz Media has licensed all three Berserk Golden Age Arc movies for its home video release. So, for Berserk Golden Age Arc 1, The Egg of the King, is basically your typical, which covers about 10 episodes. Oh yeah, in the synopsis for Berserk, Golden Age Arc, Egg of the King, which is the first Golden Age Arc Berserk anime movie, is in the kingdom of Midland, a mercenary named Guts wanders the land, preferring a life of conflict over a life of peace. Despite the odds never being in his favor, he is an unstoppable force that overcomes every opponent, wielding a massive sword larger than himself. One day, Griffith, the mysterious leader of the mercenary group band of the Hawk, witnesses the warriors' battle prowess and invites the wandering swordsman to join his squadron. Rejecting the offer, Guts challenges Griffith to a duel, and much to the former's surprise, is subsequently defeated and forced to join. Now Guts must fight alongside Griffith and his crew to help Midland defeat the Emperor of Chudder. However, Griffith seems to harbor ulterior motives, desiring something much larger than just settling the war. So yeah, Berserk Golden Age Arc, The Egg of the King, is basically the first Berserk Golden Age Arc anime movie. Well, particularly, it's more different than the original Berserk 1997 anime series, but particularly, if I would have covered the 1997 Berserk anime series from the 90s, but that's probably for later on like I said, for the 1997 Berserk anime series, that's probably for later on in the future most part of my anime reviews. Anyways, so let's begin on the story for Berserk, the Golden Age Arc movie, which Egg of the King is the first Berserk Golden Age Arc anime movie. The problem with the story is pacing. The movie leaves off way too many character building moments in favor of action and try to compress all of it in a laughably short time frame, 88 minutes if I remember correctly. There is simply no time to make the connection with the characters and hurts immersion badly in my opinion. Many scenes were cut and not for the better. For not many movies nowadays have a short runtime, and it did not to do this one in any favors yet either. The movie is another hour, and also for those expecting something more faithful to the original manga, the movie cuts out just as much, if not more, than the anime, but keeps just enough to make sure the story can progress. So the new style, visually, as some of the other viewers bothered, as I mentioned, I believe somehow it made their eyes bleed, along with the colorful scene elf mutilating descriptions of horror. That it is hit or miss, literally. There are some scenes that are beautiful and rather well done, but there are also a few parts that are awkwardly animated, to say the least, which it was not a deal breaker for something I did notice. The action segments were well done overall, with the most of the still second scenes. The sound that this will be quick, because in the original anime series soundtrack has a better carrying the mood and keeping a good theme. No contest, hands down. I'm glad Susumu Hirasawa was able to contribute aria to the production, which is a fantastic track, but only hear it once at the beginning of the intro, and not as part of an overall theme, was unfortunate. And the characters, because none of the voice acting wowed me or others. Don't get me wrong, it was not awful, but the original anime simply had a better voice cast, more versatility. Character design and shading was also funky at times with consistency. I already mentioned that the lack of character development, so I won't rehash of all of it again. Well, particularly Berserk Golden Age. Well, if I would have covered the 97 Berserk anime series, but that's probably for later. Like I said, only for later on, because I don't want to spoil this series, because it's maybe later on in the later Berserk anime series, because what I'm talking about is the Golden Age Arc movie, because particularly, like, In the world of the Ionian War between the Midland and Tudor preserves perpetually for hundreds of years two extraordinary beginnings. The overpowered mercenary warrior Guts, whose younger years of life render him unaware of towards that what direction what he should focus excessive strength to, and Band of the Hawk, incidentally that unaware of his fight as fighting in the war as an outsider, and assuringly which has great skills and a great sword, the man that marches through the death of the sole purpose of a hawk, and thus the meaning of these two extraordinary beginnings. The story is being set into the motion at the same time. Expected aftermath union assisting the war as the Midland force is the tide to the war to return in their favor. But then again, Griffith, the core of the story, however, lives forever in the individuals leading the Band of the Hawk as well. Well, yeah, because Griffith is the definition of nobility and dignity, and later on in the ambition of obsession, a role model to subordinates as a capable of anyone following him. The white demon and the Arianal and an angelic form and conduct is the source of inspiration, dreams, and desires in the series. Only when Griffith comes across Guts, the flawless in his predisposition, slightly wavers for the gut. That Guts has a very potential is becoming Griffith's equal to be what they are not. Dare not utter a friend when Griffith senses perhaps subconsciously. Yeah, because particularly Berserk, Golden Age Arc, because this movie covered about 10 episodes of the original, is probably when Guts first met Griffith. It's when the assassination starts happening in the royal court. They cut out the fair amount of scenes, the most noticeable of which being is where there no naked water fight. Seriously, which no naked water fight means might as not we call it Berserk anymore, because not the homoerotic subtext isn't there anymore. About the subtext, Guts outright states that he'll be happy Griffith's whore. Berserk has always been written on their relationship and how closely interlink their goals in life are and how they define each other. So at very least they got that part right. Because the movie did cut out a lot of content, as mentioned. About the only content, as recall, skipping the naked water fight as goes along, showing they just cut out vital story. It did feel the mechanical way where they jumped from the plot point to plot point, making the movie feel disjointed. If you feel the gasps, where the episode would normally end, or the manga chapter would cut out, by perhaps noticeably, if you're a fan of the original Berserk manga or the anime from 1997, they still get across the importance of the relationship between Guts and Griffith, along with Casca's jealousy, which is all that really matters. Because that is probably this is my review on the Egg of the King, which is the first Berserk Golden Age Arc movie for today's anime review. So that's going to be it for my anime review on The Egg of the King, which is the first Berserk Golden Age Arc anime movie for today. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's my thoughts. I did have my own little first impression influence on the first experience of The Egg of the King, which is the first Golden Age Arc Berserk anime movie, because I have it on Blu-ray, because I have not seen the series yet, but it's only for another time, because I had experience with the first Golden Age Arc Berserk anime movie for today's anime review as my own little first impression feel to this anime review. Hope subscribe for content. My anime plan, link in the description down below. Share this video on your Twitter and Facebook. If you have Twitter and Facebook account, and be sure to give this video a thumbs up by clicking the like button on this video. Feel free to comment below in the comment section below, because we're running out of time. Subscribe to my channel. Feel free to join. Click on my notifications bell button. Check out my videos I'm uploading as well. And that's all to say. So keep it otaku for this anime review. And that's all to say. This is Rurouni K95 saying thank you for watching my anime review, and hope you enjoyed it and hope you have a great day. This is Rurouni K95 signing off.